Welcome back to the channel. My name is Todd Jewell, and it is once again time for a market update, this time for the month of October. We've got a lot of numbers to go over, so let's get started. For those of you who are new, days on market was very simply how many days a home from the day it's first listed to the day it goes pending, is it on the market. So the story of the month of October is going to be this. You're not going to see a lot of movement, but we're going to start with our days on market. Now, days on market at the end of October 24 was 30.8. That was up just slightly from 28.4 at the end of September, which had actually dropped from August, which was 29.2. So basically what I'm saying is you had about 29 to 30, 31 days since October days on market. So really what you've seen is just very little movement during that period of time. Now, if we compare October 24 to October 23, we've seen some significant movement. We saw 19 days or so back in October of last year. And like I said, we're right at 30, 31 days currently. So we've seen 10, 11 days worth of movement year over year, which is a positive for the buyer's market, but at the same time, it's nowhere near what we would like to see of that normal 60, 90 plus days or so of homes on the markets. Sold to original list price means what did the property actually close for as it relates to the original list price, not the reduced list price. And so what we're seeing is at the end of the month of October, it was 96.4. So homes are closing at the month of October for 96.4% of the original list price. And that's exactly where it was at the end of September. We saw absolutely no movement, same as it was before. And even last year, year over year in October is 97.5. So we've not seen a tremendous amount of movement in that. So let's first look at active listings. Now, active listings are just how many homes were actively listed for sale. At the end of October, that was 1,314 homes for sale. If we look at that over September, it basically hasn't changed. It was 1,332 homes. So that's basically no statistical change at the end of October over September. And if you compare that number to year over year, we saw active listings in October 23 of 989. So we have seen some increase year over year, nowhere near where we'd like to see, but at least it's an increase year over year. Let's follow that up with new listings. What are new listings? These are just very simply homes that were newly listed during the month of October. And what we saw was 774 newly listed places of residence in the month of October. How does that compare to September? Well, it's almost the same again. There were 749, so 20 more homes or whatever. Statistically, once again, completely the same as it was in September. If we look at that back in August, we saw a few more actually in August at 813. This is interesting because this is one of those numbers that hasn't really changed even year over year. August of 23, we saw 755 new listings hit the market. And remember, we saw 774 new listings hit the market. So the new listings are being very consistent. So now let's look at absorption rates. It basically means if we have no new listings going forward starting today, how long would it take for all the active listings that are out there to be sold? At the end of September, we were 2.22 months, which is an inventory shortage, and then this month it's 2.16. So we literally saw it drop. Now, it's a very small drop, but it is the second month in a row that looks like that we haven't really seen an increase in our absorption rate. Now, how does that compare to October of 23? Well, it was 1.7 months of absorption rate in October of 23, which is a terrible buyer's market. It is a complete seller's market. So median sold price is not an average. We do not use an average. It's just not a great indicator. It moves around too much, especially in a market no bigger than Knox County. So we use median sold price. It means 50% of the homes sold above this number and 50% below this number. And it's a really good indicator, in my opinion, as good as you're going to get, of where pricing is in the Knoxville market. Now, what we're seeing is at the end of October, it was 401,500. And if you remember, last month, that number was over 400 also at 401,450. Now, that number did change, I think about $1,000 or so from last month's video to now with the updated numbers in here. But basically what you see is a $50 difference. It is literally exactly the same. So pricing held month over month, median sold price to be exactly the same. That number at the end of August was $386 and $50. So it was up in September. It was held true in October. And if we look at year over year, we saw a 10% year over year price increase for the month of October. It was $362,250. October 23, $401,500. October 24, that's about a 10% increase in pricing. So what do these numbers mean? The thing we take away from the month of October really is that we saw very little movement in any of our numbers. The market basically set exactly the same as it was in September. It's that still. And I will tell you there's probably a reason for that we only see about every 4 years, and that's an election. When you had a presidential election year leading up to that, normally 90 days in front of the election, things just kind of stopped. Everybody sat and waited to see what was going to happen. This year, we didn't really see that set in until the later part of September and the month of October. And so what I think you see people who listed homes who have to list homes. You see people buy homes who really need to buy homes. And you saw everyone else kind of sit on the sideline and wait to see what's going to happen. I think what's really going to be telling is when we look at our November and our December numbers to tell us where we're going to be in 2025. If you need to sell a home in this Knoxville area this year, in the next 6 to 12 months, this is probably a great year to do that. If you are someone who's looking to buy a home, I'm not going to tell you it's going to be a great year to buy a home because it's going to be competitive. And I believe it's going to continue to be competitive in our area, especially with our inventory issues. But at the same time, we're not where we were 18 months ago, and hopefully we're not going to get back to that point. Rates have inched up here at the end of October. And if we were to see rates really drop back down closer to 5%, we're going to see so many buyers jump back in the market that I'm afraid we could see a lot of pressure put on pricing to move up pretty quickly. So if you're looking to sell, I'd go ahead and sell. If you're looking to buy, I'd go ahead and start looking to buy. We'll get back to you after this month in November, get through this election, see what the month tells us, and then we'll roll into 2025. We did a video recently about our expectations for 25. We just put that out. If you haven't seen it, make sure and check out that video. If you haven't subscribed, do so below. Give us a thumbs up if you enjoy these videos and you want us to make more of them. If you are having comments or questions, please put that below. And until next time, guys, I absolutely can't wait to see you around Knoxville soon.